question. When was the last time you just sat there? No phone, no background music, nothing. Just you and your thoughts. Yeah? Can't remember either. Probably heard the term brain rot. But there's an actual science behind what's happening to your brain when you spend hours doom scrolling. Bear with me for the next few minutes as we discuss about what's going wrong upstairs and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Just a few minutes of your time. Your attention span can handle that, right? Fair warning though, some of this may feel a little too familiar. Let's start with what brain rot actually is, because it's not just a funny Gen Alpha phrase. It's not just you watching too many videos. It's more like your brain gradually losing its tolerance for anything slow, quiet, or difficult. Like if you trained yourself to only sprint, and then one day you tried to go for a walk. Except the walk is just reading a 3-page article, or sitting through a meeting without checking your phone for 17 times. Your brain used to be able to do that, and somewhere along the way it just stopped wanting to. To understand what's happening, we need to talk about dopamine for a second. Dopamine is basically your brain's reward signal. It's what makes something feel good and satisfying and worth doing again. And the thing about dopamine is, it was never supposed to be free. Your brain evolved to release it as a form of payment for your efforts. Finished something hard? Dopamine. Figured something out? Dopamine. Did the difficult thing and watched it work? Dopamine. The reward comes after. That was always the deal. Except, social media was deliberately designed to deliver that dopamine hit every few seconds. Every time you scroll to something new, your brain drops a little dopamine. So your brain isn't getting rewarded for doing things anymore. It's getting rewarded for switching. There's a difference. You might say, well, I'm an adult, I can control myself. Yeah, sure you can. But you're also exhausted. You've got actual problems. And that instant hit of dopamine feels really good at 11 p.m. after a long day. Alright, let's get into the actual damage. And yes, damage. Attention is the first thing that goes. Not in a dramatic way. More like you just noticed one day that you've reread the same paragraph 4 times and retained nothing. Or you're watching something you actually wanted to watch for a while now, and you're still reaching your phone out of pure reflex. That's not distraction. That's your brain having rewired your preference. Every time you switch to a new piece of content before finishing the old one, your brain registers that as a completed task. It releases a tiny reward, so it starts to want more of that. Think of your attention span like a muscle. If you never lift anything heavier than a phone, that muscle gets weak, and then one day you sit down to read an actual book, and your brain just tells you nope. Then there's the boredom thing. Boredom sounds terrible. Nobody wants to be bored. But boredom has a job. It's where your brain does its best work. There's a part of your brain that only really activates when you're doing nothing. Scientists call it the default mode network, which sounds like a sci-fi thing, but basically it's just your brain doing maintenance. Processing what happened, connecting the dots. You know, those moments when you suddenly figure out the answer to something while showering or before going to bed? That kind of thing. When you eliminate boredom entirely, when every idle second is filled with content, you're basically deleting that whole process. You're essentially canceling your brain's scheduled downtime. And then you wonder why you feel creatively stuck or why you can't solve problems the way you used to. Your brain never got the chance to work on it. Your real life starts to feel boring. This one's sneaky. It's what happens to how you experience regular life. When you spend hours consuming content that is specifically designed to be entertaining, dramatic, or emotionally stimulating as possible, your brain recalibrates around that, so the normal stuff starts to register as nothing. A walk feels pointless without a podcast. Hanging out with someone without half watching something at the same time feels weirdly uncomfortable. You're not becoming a worse person. Your baseline just got dragged up so high that real life can't really compete anymore. Memory is the last one, and it's getting worse. No, you're not imagining it. There's a term called digital dementia. You are losing your working memory. Because the information in brain rot is so fragmented and useless, your brain decides not to store it. Why even bother? There's a new video coming in a few seconds. The problem is, your brain gets too good at deleting things. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you're there? Or opened your phone to supposedly search for something but ended up doom scrolling instead? That's the rot. You're consuming more information than any human in history. It's like working all day and never saving the document. So, solutions. I'm not gonna tell you to go live in the woods. Partially because that's useless advice, and because you're watching this on the internet, so clearly that ship has sailed. But you do need a digital detox, and it's more doable than you think. First is the 20-minute rule. Once a day, do something that requires 20 minutes of uninterrupted focus where you don't reach for your phone. Maybe read a book, start a hobby, whatever it is. It'll feel stupid and uncomfortable at first. That's a good sign. That feeling is your attention span trying to remember how to exist. Change some of your fast stuff for slower stuff. Not all of it, just some. Cook something. Go for a walk without audio. Finish a thing you started. The point isn't virtue. It's recalibrating your reward system so it can actually function again. Use friction. The easiest thing you can do is make your phone harder to pick up. Grayscale your screen. Move apps off your homepage. Put your phone in another room at night. You don't need to be dramatic about it. You just need enough resistance that you're making a choice instead of just reflexively grabbing it. Look, the internet is great, but don't let it turn your consciousness into a smoothie. If you felt personally attacked when I mentioned the walking into a room and forgetting why thing, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me about your most shameful brain rat rabbit hole was. For me, it was when I once spent hours watching a story about a strawberry and its marital issues. I was hooked, okay? Sue me. If you want to keep your brain from melting, hit subscribe. And if you got another 8 minutes of focus left, check out this video over here. Your brain can handle a few more minutes, right?